There is another twist in the Jade Cargill situation. There's a ton of speculation about what in the world is going on with this woman in this video. I'm going to take you the very latest because there's been multiple reports, and I think I figured out what is going on. And we're going to get into it. So Jade Cargill's WWE status has been much speculated among fans after WWE did an injury angle on a recent episode of SmackDown when a mystery attacker ambushed her. She was laid out in the parking lot on top of a car. The original belief via Dave Meltzer was Cargill wouldn't be out of action for a while, with her absence being at least 3 months, if not longer, due to a legitimate injury. Now, WrestleVotes, they came out with a report noting that he had heard there was planning within WWE to strip Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair of the women's tag team titles. However, PW Insider is reporting that they were told that Jade Cargill is not injured and that the mystery attack angle was just used for a storyline. You've heard that report. You've probably also heard the report last week from Dave Meltzer that several versions were going around within WWE, including one that covers up a legitimate injury. One person stated that it seems like nobody, including Jade Cargill's friends, actually know what the injury is and why it happened, how it happened. While WWE higher-ups have claimed that she was injured and the stories denying it are false. Another version is that the injury was done to cover up a political backstage issue. Then it was reported by Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Live last week that, based off what he was told, it is sure that she is injured. So if you are in the camp that doesn't believe Dave Meltzer and you believe a PW Insider, then Brian Alvarez comes out and he says what Dave says. And if you don't believe what Brian Alvarez says, then you have WrestleVotes, who is now backing up what Brian Alvarez says and Dave Meltzer says. Well, I'm sorry to say, if you are a Dave Meltzer hater or someone that just doesn't believe what he's saying, here's the latest twist. Sean Ross Sapp for Fightful Select is now reporting that Jade Cargill is on WWE's internal injury list. That is not a storyline list. That's an internal thing of, hey, this person is not available, right? So everything lines up to Jade Cargill is legitimately injured. I have a theory, and it's this. I think Jade Cargill is injured. But I think the nature of the injury, the severity of the injury, is not known. I don't think there are many people in the company that knows how severe and what the exact injury that Jade Cargill is dealing with knows. I just don't think they know. I think they're keeping it very tight-lipped. If you go back to Jade Cargill's AEW days, she took multiple months off while trying to figure out whether or not she was going to stay with AEW or go to WWE after losing the TBS championship. I believe at Double or Nothing. And everyone's like, well, is she leaving AEW? Is she coming back? No one knew. No one knew. When she left AEW, it was well known because WWE had already set up media interviews for her to do very quickly after leaving AEW and officially announcing that she had signed with WWE, so word got out, right? My point is this: Jade Cargill has a very fine reputation of keeping things under wraps. She doesn't like to let the cat out of the bag, if you will, on many instances, on many situations. So I think Jade Cargill is legit injured. But the question remains, what are they going to do forward? Because you don't just do this angle that leads to her being pulled from War Games and the Women's U.S. Championship title tournament if she's not legitimately injured, right? There's ways out of this. If you want to do the injury angle, you could have done it after Survivor Series, not, 2 weeks before, a week before. It was actually 2 weeks before. You could have done it afterwards if you didn't want her to get pinned in the U.S. title tournament. You could have it's a triple threat. Someone else could have took the pin, right? Like, there's multiple ways. You also don't book her in Survivor Series, the week before, or the title tournament 2 weeks before. You just don't do that. It was very weird because it was like They have not just one, but they have multiple plans for Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, right? And then all of a sudden they just do this angle. And the telltale sign for me, in addition to the things that I just mentioned, was the fact that WWE does not do non contact injuries with non injured talent. It is always injured talent. If it's a storyline thing, say like an Edge back in the day, or a Randy Orton, or someone that, is a part time guy, CM Punk a few weeks ago. If not CM Punk a few weeks ago, they did that previously earlier this year with him, Drew McIntyre. Remember, Punk got color, he got it tied to the backstage area. Anyways, if they do it in front of the crowd, or if they show the actual attack, the talent is not injured, right? It's the NXT MO. It's the NXT playbook, template, whatever you want to say, where you attack them in the backstage parking lot, who did it, or, well, we don't see it type of thing. So that's what I think is going on with Jade Cargill. Like, I could be wrong. This could be an all storyline thing. They're playing us. They're playing the media. They're playing the fans. They're playing this like a fiddle, and they're doing a fine job at that. I just don't think that's the case. I think Jade is legit injured. I think this is a complete shoot. But the question remains, how long is Jade Cargill going to be out of action for? What are the types of plans that WWE will have to change going forward? Because I've touched on this before, and I greatly appreciate y'all's support with Jade Cargill videos as of late. They're absolutely crushing, and I greatly appreciate that heading into the holidays. But if she's really injured, if she's going to be out for multiple months, if, do you have her strip? As I got interrupted, but there's a lot of unknowns here with Jade. That's what I'm getting at. Like, if it's severe, if she's going to be out for a while, how do you handle the women's tag team titles? Do you put them on ice? Do you put someone in Jade's place if she's not going to be out for that long, say a Naomi? Is they just go strip them of the titles? Like, what is going to go down with these titles? And I understand that they're not necessarily the most concerned about the women's tag team titles, right? They never have been outside of like champions. Big time names that are champions, your Jade Cargills, your Bianca Belairs, your Mercedes Moné's, your Baileys. You get the idea there, but there's a lot to unpack, and there's a lot to discuss, and there's a lot of unknowns, and you compile all that together. It's a large undertaking for the company. It's a large undertaking for the fans, and Jade Cargill and the talent roster. I'm very intrigued to see what they do going forward.